Leo, 21 years old, is expertly wiring a complex electrical panel on a modern construction site. Text appears on screen. Leo, 21. Earnings, $115,000 a year. Student debt, $0. 3 years ago, I was staring at a university acceptance letter, thinking I was about to sign up for the future everyone told me I was supposed to want. Today, I'm building a six-figure career, and it hasn't cost me a single dollar in student debt. Leo's story isn't some one-in-a-million exception. He's the face of a quiet revolution, a nationwide movement of young people looking at the traditional path to success and asking a simple, powerful question. Is it still worth it? For generations, the formula was simple. Get a 4-year degree, land a good job, and build a stable life. But for Gen Z, that formula is starting to feel broken. The very ground beneath the ivory tower is cracking, and the reasons are impossible to ignore. Let's start with the price tag. For the 2025 to 2026 school year, the average published tuition for an in-state student at a public 4-year university is nearly $12,000. For a private university, that number jumps to $45,000, and that's before you even factor in room, board, and books. It's a staggering sum, and it's forcing a generation to become ruthless accountants before they've even turned 8. This financial pressure is why the single biggest reason Gen Z gives for skipping college is the cost. It's not about a lack of ambition. It's about a pragmatic fear of debt, and that fear is well-founded. In the United States, about 45 million Americans are shouldering a colossal $1.8 trillion in student loan debt. The average borrower leaves campus with a debt burden of over $37,000. This isn't just a number, it's a 20-year mortgage on a dream, a financial anchor that delays homeownership, starting a family, and achieving the very stability college was meant to provide. The return on that massive investment is also more uncertain than ever. In a recent survey, about half of Gen Z respondents with a degree felt it was a waste of money, and nearly 4 in 10 believe their student debt hindered their career more than their degree helped. This disillusionment is so profound that a new term has been coined for this pragmatic, hands-on generation: the tool belt generation. They are a cohort defined not by the campus they attended, but by the skills they've mastered. They've watched the generation before them drown in debt and are actively choosing a different path. They are trading the lecture hall for the workshop, the thesis paper for the apprenticeship, and theoretical knowledge for practical, in-demand expertise. So how does someone like Leo make that choice? How does a high school graduate with a university acceptance letter in hand decide to turn his back on the path everyone expected him to take? For Leo, it started at home. He saw the financial anxiety up close. Relatives who were still paying off student loans decades after graduating. Friends, older siblings who had prestigious degrees, but were stuck in low-wage service jobs, their diplomas collecting dust while their debt collected interest. It was a cautionary tale playing out in real time. Then he turned to the internet, where a different story was unfolding. On platforms like TikTok and YouTube, he wasn't seeing videos about dorm life. He was seeing young electricians, plumbers, and welders showcasing their work. They were posting their pay stubs, buying their first trucks, and talking about the pride they felt in building something tangible. They weren't just working a job, they were building a life, death-free. It was a powerful and alluring narrative. It wasn't about rejecting education. It was about redefining it. For Leo, this was a revelation. He realized that a valuable education didn't have to come with a 6-figure price tag and 4 years of lectures. He saw a skills gap in the economy, a massive demand for tradespeople as the baby boomer generation heads into retirement. While his peers were competing for a limited number of white-collar jobs, the trades were practically begging for new talent. So, He made his choice. He respectfully declined his university offer. He told his stunned but supportive parents that he wasn't giving up on a successful future. He was just taking a different, more direct route to get there. He decided he was going to become an electrician. His plan wasn't to just get a job. It was to become a master of a craft. He enrolled in a local apprenticeship program. The deal was almost too good to be true. Instead of paying tuition, he would be paid to learn. It was a full-time job with on-the-job training, supplemented with classroom instruction. He would earn a wage from day one. While his friends were packing up for their dorms, taking out their first student loans, and sitting in 100-level survey courses, Leo was on a job site, learning how to wire a house. He was earning, not borrowing. He was building skills, not debt. It was a gamble, but for Leo, the odds felt much safer than the so-called sure thing of a traditional degree. Leo's path is becoming a well-trodden one. While overall, college enrollment has seen a modest recovery, enrollment in vocational-focused programs is surging. Spring 2025 saw community college enrollment jumped 5.4%, driven by students in vocational and trade programs. This isn't a niche trend. It's a fundamental shift in how young people view careers and education. The appeal is powerful and makes a lot of sense. First, and most obviously, is the earn while you learn model. Apprenticeships, like the one Leo joined, pay you from the very beginning. There is no tuition debt because your employer is investing in your training. It completely flips the financial script of higher education. Instead of spending 4 years accumulating debt, you spend those years accumulating skills and savings. Second is the speed to market. A 4-year degree takes, well, for years, and often longer. In contrast, many trade certifications and apprenticeship programs can get you career-ready in a fraction of that time, sometimes in as little as 9 months to 2 years. For a generation focused on ROI, this accelerated path to a good-paying job is incredibly attractive. Third is job security. While headlines are filled with stories of tech layoffs and corporate downsizing, the demand for skilled tradespeople is exploding. There is a massive shortage of electricians, plumbers, welders, and HVAC technicians in America. These are jobs that cannot be outsourced or automated by AI. They are essential, hands-on careers that offer a level of stability that many white-collar professions no longer can. As one student in a trade program noted, the fact that her teachers have been in the same program since the 80s and 90s demonstrates the incredible sustainability of these career paths. Finally, there's a growing sense of pride and satisfaction in this work. For years, these jobs were unfairly stigmatized, but Gen Z is rebranding them. They see the skill, the technology, and the tangible impact of their labor. You can stand back at the end of the day and see the house you wired, the system you repaired, the structure you built. It's a visible, satisfying contribution that a day spent in spreadsheets and meetings often fails to provide. So, what does this new path actually look like 3 years down the line? For Leo, it looks like this. At 21, he is a journeyman electrician. He's not just an employee. He's a highly skilled professional. His base salary is competitive, but with plentiful overtime. He's on track to earn over $115,000 this year. He has 0 student debt. He has a healthy savings account, a solid credit score, and is already planning a down payment on his first home. Now, let's contrast that with the typical path. The average projected starting salary for a recent college graduate is around $65,000. But that comes with an average debt of around $38,000 for those who borrowed. So while Leo was banking his full salary and gaining equity in his career, many of his peers were starting in a financial hole, with a significant portion of their income going straight to loan payments. Top earners in the electrical field can make upwards of $100,000, and that's not an outlier for many experienced tradespeople. The median salary for an electrician is over $61,000 before overtime, with plenty of room for growth through starting their own business. This isn't about one path being smart and the other dumb. It's about a new economic reality. Gen Z is pragmatic. They understand that a fulfilling life requires financial stability, and they are increasingly skeptical that a traditional degree is the most reliable way to achieve it. They are choosing careers that offer a direct, transparent, and financially sound path to the middle class and beyond. They are proving that you don't need a mountain of debt to reach the peak of your earning potential. It's crucial to add a layer of nuance here. This is not a declaration that college is worthless. For many essential and aspiring professions, a university degree is not just beneficial, it is absolutely necessary. We need doctors, scientists, engineers, architects, and lawyers, and the rigorous academic training provided by universities is the only way to produce them. The argument isn't to abolish college, but to dethrone it as the only respectable path to success. The real issue has been the cultural narrative that pushed everyone towards a four-year degree, regardless of their interests, skills, or financial situation. This college-for-all mentality created a system where universities could endlessly hike tuition, knowing that society had deemed their product indispensable. What the tool belt generation is doing is reintroducing choice into the equation. They're challenging the stigma that has long been associated with vocational education and proving that skilled labor is not a lesser path, but an equally valid and often more financially lucrative one. The goal is a more balanced and honest conversation about post-high school options. It's about recognizing that a student who becomes a master welder is just as successful as one who becomes a marketing manager. It's about providing young people with a full menu of viable options and trusting them to choose the one that best fits their talents and aspirations, without the burden of societal judgment or crippling debt. If stories like Leo's make you rethink the future of work and success, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the changing career landscape. And we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments. What path are you on? Is college still the ultimate goal? Or are you exploring other options? Conclusion. The shift we're witnessing is more than just an economic trend. It's a cultural one. Leo and millions of other members of Gen Z are not just choosing a different career. They are choosing a different definition of the good life. One where success is measured not by the prestige of the degree on the wall, but by the skills in your hands, the money in your bank account, and the freedom from debt. They are the tool belt generation, and they are building their own future. One practical, profitable, and powerful step at a time.